Okay. So last time's recap. Um, so last time the emergency let's see what I have here. Yeah. So Ensign Clark and Lieutenant Commander Jahan responded to the basically the giant part of Starbase 2 that was exposed to space, and tried to put some things together, like repair some things and put some things together so that the oxygen levels wouldn't continue to deplete on the connecting parts of the Starbase. And spent time doing that and did it very easily. It took them about 40 minutes. And then Dr. House and Phlox and Treacle went and took care of injured crew officers and people on the decks. And I'm trying to remember. Oh, yeah, and that's right. And our hat went down and responded. Later, the captain and Lieutenant Silva scanned for the Tiburon, saw that it was going away, leaving the thing at warp, leaving like the sector at warp, but soon to return, as Admiral Foxwell later sent a shuttle out to have it turn around and head back to the station, basically under escort. Then security officer Coben found a remnant of what he believed to be a bomb and had Arhat and Silva scan it, and that scan revealed it was Federation tech. And then Coben revealed that of the 42 ships that have docked at Starbase 2 since it's been operational for 2 years, only 5 of them are Federation ships. He broke down the 5 ships, and basically the one that stood out was this like a party barge, like a pleasure cruise called the SS Tranquil. So after going over everybody's records, the admiral ordered the captain to assemble an away team to go aboard the pleasure ship to basically investigate the crew on there, because the crew the captain specifically has ties to being seen at some rallies that have been peaceful in nature, but they've been very anti-Federation, and it's kind of indicating that there has been some talk and some things where basically what he's been seen at, like what these meetings that he's been seen at, it basically indicates that it's more than just they're upset about something. It's almost like it is eventually going to come to action. So this is what the admiral believes in, is having had Captain Knightley order like to assemble a away team. So we kind of left it off where the captain was deciding whether or not to join the away team of Commander Arhat, Lieutenant Commander Jahan, and Lozesh. Those were our away team individuals. And the other, Silva and Clark, were to remain behind, and House was to meet with Admiral Foxwell about his interaction with Captain Naboa before he left the station before the detonation. So I think the first thing that makes sense is, unless Adri, you felt kind of like what you said last game was fine, if you wanted to have like a sit down with Lozesh and the doctor and yourself about just everything, like the goings on of the ship, If not, then we can bring the doctor to the admiral and go start from there.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like let's leave it be for now, and then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's start with the doctor meeting he's been called to the admiral's office, and he understands that he's being brought there because he has some pertinent information about the interaction with Naboa before Naboa departed.
I will take a chance to be who I'm meant to be. I won't let fear keep me from trying. It's time for me to make a change, to start living the life I want. I'm gonna reach for the sky, way up high. I'm never giving up. It's up to me to see who I can be, make dreams reality. I'm never giving up. 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 I'm never giving up.
So you arrive outside the office. The receptionist person is there, and they go, "Oh, hi, doctor. Let me page you into the admiral's office. She told me to just let you in when you arrived."
Okay, thank you.
So he turns over. He presses the thing, and the doors open, and you see the admiral sitting at her desk, but her chair, she's like not facing her chair, like the back of her chair is to your front face. So as she hears the doors open, she turns around and she says, doctor, yes, come in. Captain Knightley expressed that you may have some information about Captain Naboa before he left the station here over a couple hours ago.
Yes, I was treating Captain Naboa. He had gotten into a bar fight.
Yes. Okay.
I was tending to his wounds, and his son came into the room, showed him his tablet, and he got up and got left without being treated. And I didn't think anything of it at the time. I thought he was just, being himself. But regarding the situation, I think maybe there's something suspicious about it.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that young man around the station before, but I didn't know he was a son. It makes sense. But yeah, I wonder what was on that pad. Perhaps he'll have it on him when we bring it in. And Doctor, you were not in a position to hold him or do anything. He had done nothing wrong. You were treating his wounds. There was nothing, you had no reason to detain him. If the detonation had happened and he walked, we'd be having a different discussion, but that's not what happened. So I appreciate you letting me know, because now we can go forth and look into that pad, and really just see if he has it and try to see where he got it from, and go from there. Okay. That tells me that somebody somewhere either he set it off, which it's not his MO. He would be sitting off in the corner watching the station burn. He wouldn't just leave.
Yeah, I thought so too. But I don't know that every time I had treated him or talked to him, he was always so anti-Federation, anti-everything.
No, it does
So
make sense.
I just
It does make
figured
sense.
I would let you know, and
No, absolutely. Thank you for
take it
letting
from
me
there.
know. Yeah,
You're very welcome.
yeah, we will. Okay, well, if you can think of anything else, or if you come across any more information, just let me know. Otherwise, you're dismissed.
Okay, thank you. And you'll have full access to medical records if you
Oh,
need be on this
of
situation
course,
as well.
of course. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So you get up and you leave. She goes back to her work, and let's while Adri's gone, I'll have Andrew go. We'll have Sova go to. Adri's back. Well, let's still follow through. Let's have Lieutenant Sova go to his quarters, and you'll see that you have a message from you have a message on the screen. You have like an inbox notification essentially, and you're gonna go over and like access it.
Yep.
Okay.
Hit the button and bring it up. Is it an
So you
audio?
go- It's text. It's not audio. So what it basically it's from Captain Belmont of the Silk, and she tells you that basically that she heard of what just happened on Starbase 2, and that basically any type of any of those she references the rallies. She talks about the rallies, and that says anybody who's seen at those things or has been involved with that or is like orchestrating it or organizing it, like putting it together, like those are people to avoid. She's mixed with a couple people, and their like anti-federation stance is more than just like they're generally upset or like disgruntled. They want to take action, and the action that they may want to take could be extreme, could be to a level that's not appropriate essentially. She says in the quadrant, though, she basically remarks about the Talarians. There's a lot of Talarians west of the station, like galactic west, and that basically if you can avoid them because they're aggressive and they don't like the Federation. But that's kind of all she has, because her route between the two star bases, she pretty much interacts with friendly people and Federation friendly people and Federation like colonies, like places of that have been established, that are run and or like overseen by the Federation. They're not necessarily like Federation hosted colonies. They're just colonies that the Federation is like aware of and supplies them and checks up on them and stuff like that. So but other than that, she doesn't really have nothing more pertinent than that.
Okay. Then I would. You know what? I want to forward that message to the captain.
Sure. Yep.
Okay. So I do that, and it's like a forward with the same thing, but I just put above it. Interesting info that you should know.
Yeah. So you get that, Adri, at your ready room pretty much as soon as he sends it.
Okay.
So basically it confirms all of your like hesitations and concerns about what everything you've been hearing. Like this Talarian captain Naboa is an aggressive, mean, bully kind of a guy that you've gleaned from other people's reports. You've read the security report about his interaction with Lozesh. You've read Dr. House's report about his interaction in the med bay. You have other people's like the admiral and the security chief's like word of mouth things. So it's not like it's not like a left field kind of comment that she's like, hey, maybe avoid these type of people. And when it comes to the rallies, it's something that it's been on your captain radar. It's something that you've been debriefed about because it's happening, in colonies and on stations and stuff. But because it's been so peaceful, it's not really something it's not, people have a right to protest. You're not really concerned about that. But now you don't know specifically about this.
Okay. Is that information I should forward to the admiral?
I mean, you can. I mean, she basically would know all that
She would
already.
know,
But,
right? Okay.
but you can. I mean, she wouldn't say no to it.
It's okay. I'll just keep it to myself.
Okay. So now we will have the away team assemble. And we're going to have you guys assemble in like the security office on the Starbase where the admiral and security chief Coben, and then the 3 away team members and the captain. So as you enter, you can see on this, like, it's kind of like a long, like, digital table, and Coben is like, you can see that he's like looking over crew manifests. He's looking over pretty much all information about the Tranquil that he can get. And you can see that the admiral is looking over like crew people who are names of people on the Tranquil, whether it's like people who run the ship or people who have like signed up to be on the ship, like a guest list essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you guys see when you enter.
Who were the away team again? Just so everybody can.
Yeah. So it's Commander Arhat, Lieutenant Commander Jahan, and Lozesh.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys all mill in. You stand around the big digital table, and the admiral says, "Okay, so the most important thing to remember that we want to keep in mind with this away mission is to maintain radio silence with the base, the Starbase, and the Drake. I understand there could be an extreme circumstance, and you have to, but we don't want any of them to. We want them to go about their regular routines, and we want them to perhaps be interested if any of you display anti-Federation thinking or like you're not really happy with them. We want them to kind of explore that. We don't know know if they have a recruiting like capacity. We don't know how they go about any of it. All we know is who's on the ship, and basically we feel that the captain is the ringleader, but how the rest of the crew plays into it, we don't know. And there are some who are on the crew who were in the Amar system, which the Amar system is the system that the Klingons took over and forcibly removed several, colonies from the system. So even though the captain was not in the Amar system, he wasn't a colonist there. There are some on the crew who were. So we, in general, would kind of keep an eye on these people. So basically, you have your. I was informed by the captain that you all have essentially like a cover story, a different type of background, not just going straight in as like a representative of Starfleet. We don't want them to think that. And basically go around the ship, convince the crew, the other passengers, the legitimacy of your cover story, and then see whatever you can about and anything.
I'm looking for food.
Okay.
No, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
Are there
So-
any passengers that we should be wary of?
Okay, so I'm going to give you. She goes over to the screen and she makes it big enough so, like, instead of her just on her pad, she makes it big enough so everybody can see. She shows you the main crew, like the heads of the crew, and the ones that she suspect are involved in some capacity. She doesn't know what or how much, but so the captain is Saman Zarafit. And he's a male Bolian. She shows a picture of him, and he's like darker blue, and he has like darker blue streaks. He has a darker blue streak from under his chin to the back of his neck, so he kind of runs down like that. He's the captain. She says his first officer is also a male Bolian. You see the picture of him. His name is Naxor Molin. He's lighter blue with lighter blue pigmentation around his mouth and his eyes. He is from the Amar. He's from a colony in the Amar system. Then you have the engineer, Clufo Fra. She's a female Tellarite. And you see in the picture, she has like kind of blonde hair with these like little flowers in her hair. She's from a colony in the Amar system. And then there's two security officers. They're both male Orions. One of them is bald with a white eye, and he has like metal plating on his head. His name is Mator. And the other one's name, who just has short black hair, his name is Nizark. They're both are Orions. And then lastly, there's the continuous kind of person, like the on-ship entertainer. Her name is Razzle, and she's a female Suliban. She has no hair. And then there's the chef, like the person who works in the kitchen, and he's a male Andorian. His name is Thoran Chazikris. He's bald, and he has he has like, you can see Mike, and I don't think Jahan would recognize it, but Mike, Arhat can recognize on his face are like really old, like Andorian tribal markings, like way back in like ancient Andorian history. These are the kind of markings and symbols that those type of civilizations on Andoria would use. So you recognize that. And he's also from a colony in the Amar system. So she says these are the main people I suspect. They don't rotate off the ship, and the captain has a tight little hold over these individuals. There are other people who go onto the ship who are in charge of other things, but they rotate. So I don't think they're involved, but obviously worth looking into. And she gestures to the security officer, and he brings up on his pad. Oh, yeah, go ahead, Eric.
Do I recognize any of them?
None of the crew, no.
Okay.
And she has him bring up on his pad three other people. It's a female Suliban named Xander. She's a masseuse. A male Arbizan. His name is Valbu. He's the librarian. And then there's the doctor, a female Tellarite, and her name is Rilo Olalesh. So those three people she doesn't think are involved because they rotate out very frequently. Basically what happens is when they go to they do like an extended kind of like basically like a real cruise ship. Like they dock somewhere, load up on customers and tourists, and then they go and they do like an extended kind of journey. And then when they come back, like they'll switch out the doctor and the librarian and the masseuse, and those other people I named always stay with the ship. They never get off.
How long is our expected mission to last?
It could take you a while, but I don't expect it to take very long. I feel like you can get into their information and get contact with them as soon as possible. They seem pretty quick to latch on to people who have an anti-Federation stand, so I don't think they're going to give you much of a hardship with sharing information with you, whether or not they can trust you. So,
And should we act like we know each other, or should we act like strangers?
well, I think that's for the three of you to work out. You can know each other, or you can, it depends on what story you guys want to present as the away team. Obviously, something more believable is going to be easier to go about, but I trust that whatever you come up with, it'll work out just fine.
Okay.
Any questions? She says. No. Okay. All right. So do you...
So where are we going exactly? Are we going to a planet where this ship is going to show up?
Yeah, so right now, the Tranquil is at Planet Q, and they are loading up new. They're like loading up new tourists to go on another extended journey, or whatever, like loop. So, you guys are. Trying to find where I had it. Yeah, here it is. You guys are going to leave from this once you get everything worked out. You guys are going to leave from Starbase 2, go to Planet Q, and then board the Tranquil there.
Okay. Who's in charge?
That would be the commander, Mike.
Me.
Huh.
I feel the best plan of action would be to use my storied past commander, Zarhat. I feel that we can use that as a grounds for a solid deception, as it's, it wouldn't be too far-fetched to think that I'm a dissenter from the Federation.
True.
I agree.
And no one would not recognize me as a Federation sympathizer.
Not to worry, gentlemen. I have disguises for us.
I also came up with the name. See, Rav.
Yep.
Backwards. Rav. R-A-V. Hillel.
Okay.
I don't think. I think if you put it up, Mike, I don't think it was. I think it was for us. It was the right way. I think for you, it's backwards, but for us,
For me, it's backwards.
yeah. Right. Looking at what you sent me and that, it looks the same. So
So you guys can read that?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It was backwards for me. That's why I thought it was backwards.
That's
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna give you like the layout of the ship, and then I'll let you guys get ready to go. So there are 4 decks. These are the restricted areas that you can't, like, as tourists, you can't just go into like freely. It's the bridge, engineering, the kitchen, and the cargo hold. Can't go into those areas without some sort of clearance. The bridge is on deck 4, engineering and the cargo hold are on deck 1, and the kitchen is on deck 2. But open to the public is the game room, the sauna, a massage room, a dance floor, a study, the dining hall. Then there are private quarters mixed within, on throughout the ship. There's a security office and a first aid station. And deck 1 is the game room, the sauna, the massage place, and the dance floor. Deck 2 is the study, the dining hall, and where the private quarters are. And deck 3 is the security office and first aid. So that is how the ship is laid out. I know it doesn't really super matter, but I'm just letting you know where things are.
Deck 1 interests me
Okay, well there you go.
because it's got a sauna
Yeah.
and I like heat.
Yep. So the admiral says, I know it may sound foolish to say to any of you to this, but until you have something to go on, enjoy yourself, because not enjoying yourself, you're going to stand out. So it's sort of an order to have fun.
Relax.
So so she says, if there's no questions, I will dismiss the away team to begin. We're not going to send the Drake because we feel that will be a kind of an alarming thing that the Drake is going to appear, and then 3 people are going to get off and then be like, I don't know anything
We
about the
hate
Drake
the
except
Federation.
for right. So we're
Mhm.
going to have a neutral party civilian ship bring you there. It's basically like a 21st century Uber, more or less. So
Okay.
So-
Well, before they go, I'll just say to them, gentlemen, enjoy the first part of shore leave. See you on the other side.
Understood.
yeah. Okay.
Lozesh, don't eat anybody. Can't eat any live people.
I'll be on my best behavior.
Thank you. I look forward to your report when you get back.
Okay, you guys are dismissed to begin your journey. So at warp 4, it'll take about an hour to get there. So you can go as fast or as slow as you want to go. The ship's not leaving for another day. So it's up to you guys. You guys can I can put you right there on planet Q, or you guys can have a thing.
I would like to have a thing and then do a flip screen transition to us boarding the pleasure cruise.
Perfect. Yeah, I have no optical
Right?
flip, right? That's what they call it. Yeah.
Perfect. Gentlemen, I think it's time we don our disguises. You're going to love it. Flip screen. We're standing outside the pleasure cruise, and we all have red Hawaiian shirts. Lozesh is clearly not a Hawaiian shirt, and it is a red kimono. But we told him it's a Hawaiian shirt. We also all have straw hats.
You're ready to relax.
Perfect.
This is exactly what the TV shows on Earth depicted for a cruise ship.
Yeah,
we're
that's
right
true.
Through
Um,
gritted teeth, I go, I hate this.
But you look great.
Caleb, I'm gonna need an artist rendition of that stat.
Oh wow.
So
That would actually be awesome.
I was already
Sorry.
planning on it. Don't worry about it.
Oh man, that's
The nice thing is you got some pictures to work off of for at least
I
2
mean-
of us.
that's
You just got to put us in Hawaiian shirts.
So red is
Ridiculous.
appropriate because we're in the away team.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
One of us is coming back dead, and I know it's not me.
Gonna wake up dead.
So, on your journey there, while changing, that they're going to scan you when you go onto the ship, because it's like a Federation bylaw that they're not, you can't have weapons on the ship.
Right.
So, and if you're going to try, you can bring something, but if you're going to do it, it's going to be a roll to see if you can like disguise it. So
He's food. He's food, of course.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's like a little lunch bag, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Snack pack.
Yeah.
Aw.
So if
Personally, I
If
would
you-
love to see if I can get my Ushan on, just because it's something very sentimental to Andorians. Where
Okay.
where even if I'm caught with it, I can honestly say it's something I never go anywhere with.
So let me verify. A kimono is a female Japanese dress, correct?
Doesn't necessarily have to be.
I don't.
female.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
both.
it's
I had to borrow it from Sova's closet.
You're taking
Wow.
my meditation robes now?
Sova, are you secretly hiding something from us?
Yeah, he does know how to relax. That's right.
It doesn't say whether or not it's male or female. It's just a long, loose robe with wide sleeves tied with a sash. It's formal
Okay.
garment in Japan.
yeah, it's more
Okay.
of like a samurai.
Yeah, that's fine.
I feel like
So I
Lozette
try to
wouldn't know.
hide. I hide my sword, my
Yeah, like
my
your
my knife
Yeah.
behind my back, like I usually do.
Okay.
So
Okay.
with that on, it's there. So I'll see if I can keep it hidden.
Okay. So let's. Okay, so you come on, and it's like exactly what you would think. It's a cargo ship. It's all really smooth and pretty looking on the outside, and it's like this little galley kind of ramp going up to the ship. And on either side of the door are these very, very. They're like slightly slightly shorter than Lozesh in size, and those two are Orion guys. They're standing outside of either side of the entryway, and one of them is being very like, he's interactive. I don't want to say he's necessarily nice. He's just interactive. The other one, he looks absolutely miserable. He looks like he hates doing what he's doing, and so the one who is miserable looking is Mator. He's the one that has the white eye and the plate on his head. Okay, and Nizark is the other. So you guys get into line. There's only a couple of people. This the Tranquil can only hold I just want to get the number right. I wrote it down. I have to find the ship. Here it is. It can only hold 42 people. And so there's only 32 slots open. You make that up. So there's a potential of 29 other people on the ship. Coben was able to find out most of it, but obviously there's going to be species and aliens on the ship that he's not, like, they don't have what do you call it, like documentation, they don't have like communication with. So there's going to be some people on here that are just going to be scanned and seen fit for travel and allowed onto the ship because it's a civilian thing. There's not going to be as much security. So you all are coming up like the ramp thing. And who's in what order? What's the order of you guys, so I can have you roll in that order?
I'd probably just walk up first.
Okay. All right, Mike. So let's have you roll control plus where I just saw command.
Control and command.
Yep.
I need a 15 or better.
So
I got an
sorry,
11.
difficulty 2. So go ahead. Sorry.
I have to roll 2 dice.
Yeah, two d20s. Sorry.
We have extra momentum if you want to buy more dice.
Yeah, two difficulty.
I don't need it. I have a 4 and an 11. So I got 3.
Okay. No, good. So you get a momentum from that. So so you see Mator, he scans you, he looks, and there's a slight second where he kind of like he sort of kind of like squints at it, like he's trying to look at it, but then he just says, "Oh, welcome aboard," and that's what he says. Let's go by. Okay, who's behind Mike?
I got the rear.
Okay, so John, does Jahan have his things on?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's fine. He scans. You don't have anything on you, right?
Nope.
No. Okay. So he says, "Oh, welcome aboard." So now he goes to Lozesh. So Lozesh, you're going to roll the same thing. You're going to be command and control. So it's command plus control. That number, 2 d20s.
And you can buy more dice if you want, because now we're up to 6.
Okay, I rolled a 7 and a 1.
Oh, just dominated.
So there you go. So yep. He does the exact same thing happens. He scans. He kind of half hesitates, and then he just says, "No, welcome aboard."
I look at the guy with the plate on his head.
Yeah.
And I smile.
And he's
having fun.
Yeah, it's okay. It's nice here.
Wow, love the enthusiasm.
Yeah. So you guys go onto the ship. Okay. Now you're on the ship. You've made it past. You have everything. It's basically in your guys' hands. It's kind of like Clue. You can go where you want. I don't. It's the way I have it written is whatever you do or however you go about it, I'll give.
Are we looking out the transparent windows and waving like everybody would be on a cruise?
You could if there was somebody to wave. I guess technically you could be waving back to the civilian who brought you here. So, I mean, yeah.
The first thing I would do is I'd want to figure out where my room is.
Oh, okay. Sure.
So any excess stuff that I might have on me, I can get rid of it.
Do you guys have shared rooms, or does everybody have their own room?
We'd have our own room, I would say. At least Lozesh doesn't want to share a room.
Yeah, there's enough accommodations for everybody to have a single room. There doesn't have to be shared rooms. But you can either have adjoining rooms.
That would be actually very interesting.
So that's where is everyone going to follow Mike, or does everyone? So you're on deck 2. There, one of your rooms is on deck 2. You would get probably, it would be like, 223 would be like your number. So that's where he's going. Would you guys follow him, or what would the other 2 of you do?
I think that at least to blend in for the time being, we should probably enjoy some of the activities on board.
Absolutely.
You agree, Commander?
I do.
I do agree with that. I'm planning on checking out at least the game room because I want to be seen by as many people as possible.
Okay.
It's just the first thing I want to do is get rid of any excess stuff I have on me. That's the reason I wanted to start at the personal room, just to see what it is, drop my stuff, and then get out to be seen. I am horrible at the games, but I'm willing to check them out.
Okay.
So we
My
go
wife
down
is-
to the game room, right?
I would go down to the game room. You guys can join me if you want, or if there's something in particular you want to check out.
I go with you.
I am horrible at the games, though, so I don't know how well I'll do. My wife is much better at these.
I'm gonna go see what they have on the menu.
You start yelling for cheeseburgers. Cheeseburger.
Every time I'm on this show, on this game, you're always eating. So are you fatter than we all think you are?
I'm just always in search for the next cheeseburger.
He's insatiable.
Oh my goodness.
I was the guy that ate things before you came along.
Okay.
On a dare. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Hey, there's a Telluride. I dare you.
yeah, eat that. Yeah. Okay, so let's have. So John, you go to the dining hall, right? That's what you're saying.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And there on so you come into this room, and it's like basically, it's a really nice, like fancy dining. It's like tables and chairs, and I saw it, Mike, but hold on. Oh yeah. Did you text me that?
Yes, I
Yeah,
did.
you did. Okay, I can't. I did write it down. Okay, yeah. So, so you go in it. So it's like tables and chairs, and it's really nice. It's really well lit. It's big, like Eric was saying. It's big, nice windows looking out right now onto the planet side. You know, they're not. It's not. It's still on the ground, and there's like a long counter, kind of like station essentially that has where the chef is standing there, the Andorian that you've seen on you saw on briefing there, Thoran Zychris. So that's what you see. There's a couple other people in here, and the you don't really know them because they're a mismatch of, there's like aliens you've never seen before, and then there's like other like Tellarites and Andorians here in this room. So far you haven't seen anything. The one thing I would say of note is you haven't seen any Vulcans and you haven't seen any humans on the ship.
No humans.
Just in
huh?
your just of your like walking through things.
Humans.
So is the
Um,
chef like serving people, or is he just in there?
Yeah, you would go up to him and place an order, and he would make it for you, or he would bring it to you at the table. So
Alright.
basically you could go up to the counter, you would order, he would say okay, and then you would go and have a seat, and then he would bring the food to you. Like you would know that from what they would do, the debriefing.
All right. So I walk over to the counter and approach the Andorian behind the counter.
Yep. And he says, "Hello."
Ah, fellow Andorian, what's on the menu tonight, sir?
Well, we're able to make whatever you can. We have a large stock of food here, so it's really whatever you can basically imagine.
Perhaps an Earth delicacy?
Well, There's not many Earth delicacies, but we can maybe find something for you. I have a thing called Korsh. It's I will describe it to you. It is ground meat, pressed and cooked, and then it is covered in a blanket of some sort of like pressed dairy curd. It's sliced very thinly. So that is what we have.
This
Korsh.
does sound like a delicacy. Perhaps is there some sort of grain you could place on the bottom and the top?
Yes, we have that. It does
Oh.
regularly go with Korsh. I failed to mention that, but yes.
Yes, that sounds wonderful. I think I'll have 2 of those.
I'll have a
Right
double
away.
Korsh. Double quarter pounder Korsh, please.
And I'd also like maybe a side of space chips if you got them.
Oh yes, we have spaceships. Yes.
Beautiful. That would round things out perfectly.
Perfectly. Yes. Well, that'll take about 20, 25 minutes. No problem.
Fantastic. Thank you. I'll be seated then.
Very well.
I like how you're.
So your sounds like your Korsh is beaten and deep fried. 25 minutes.
Well, he's got to go. He's got to go find it. He's got to go get it. It's in the way parts of the kitchen.
Right. I have cat Korsh here.
Oh, and chef, could you deliver that to me personally, please? I'd feel much better about an Andorian bringing me my food.
Absolutely, I can understand that. Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And so he finishes kind of like writing down everything, and then he turns around and he goes into the kitchen is right behind the other side of the dining hall. Okay, so while that's simmering, that meal is simmering.
Gotta let that course settle.
Yeah. We'll basically have given that interaction. We'll probably have given our hat and Lozesh enough time to like deposit stuff in their rooms and then work their way down to the game room. Right. That's where I thought you guys were going, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So you enter the game room, and the game room has several tables and chairs just like the dining hall, but among it you can see on like one side of the wall there's a couple like cabinets and shelves where they have things to like pick up and interact with, and they're pretty much anything that is available is playable, but you kind of notice as you're looking like a lot of Earth games are not really present. There are some, but there's not a lot of them. So they have things like Damjat, which is like billiards and pinball together, and they have Go, which is an Earth Chinese game, and they have darts and poker, which again are Earth games, but that's kind of it. The rest of it is games that you guys have heard of and you're familiar with, but they're not games from, they're like other species games, essentially.
Damjat.
Yeah. A Damjat human. Yeah.
I'm not a human, but
no.
Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that queue is going to be way too small for me, but I'll do best I can.
So you're going to play
with the toothpick I have, yeah.
Okay. So
I play Damjat.
Perfect. So you have some other guys come up, and they play with you because it's like a multi-person game, and they enjoy playing with you. What were you gonna say, Mike?
I was gonna say, I would check that out. I would check
Oh, okay.
out darts, and I would initially just start walking around just to see who's there. Because I
Okay,
want
yeah.
to assess the room first, and then pick out probably a game in the middle, and then move to the side, see if anybody will come up and talk to me.
Gotcha. So you kind of walk around the room again. It's a mixture of aliens and other species. And like I said, the Jahan, you guys are both noticing that Vulcans aren't on here, which isn't really a surprise because it's like a place to have a good time, and Vulcans don't really do that. But it is kind of weird that there are no humans. There's not like one. And it's like, space is a big place and it's not that big of a deal, but
But considering it's a Federation ship,
right,
and not having no humans on the ship would be a little odd.
It's just a little. You just notice it. It's something that you notice. So, as you walk around the room, you don't really get the idea that this is just a giant public area, and that perhaps because everything is kind of well lit and well organized, so there's not really like a super secluded area. It's kind of like, imagine like trying to stand off in like an arcade room. There's areas where you can stand, but like within arm's reach or like a step or two is a game. So you don't have a lot of space. You feel as like looking at it as a tactical person, like there's not really like a quote unquote private area if somebody really wanted to like talk, or if you wanted to talk, like there's not really that locate, like there's nothing really there for that.
Yeah. I would also wait to see if there's any waitresses or staff to come through, because a lot of times when you're playing games, someone may come up to you, hey, do you want something to drink? Hey, do you want something to eat? Simple.
Yeah. Those type of people do mill in and out. There's not many of them, but you can definitely kind of sidestep, like saddle up, or what do they call it? You can kind of like come up on one of them if you want.
I'd probably walk up to one and just get a simple drink.
Okay.
That way it doesn't seem like I'm not trying to have fun.
Okay. Nice.
So with the group that I'm with at the down job table, what aliens are there?
So there's an Andorian, a Tellarite, and then there's two other aliens that you have no idea. They're not they're not a species you've seen on the Starbase.
Okay.
And they're all like, just so to like understand it, they're all like humanoid in appearance, but they're not like a gargantuan crazy things. They're all what Star Trek is, like, a thing on his forehead, his ears are bigger. It's like stuff like that,
Like a Ferengi?
No Frankies, no. These are literally like background on like Star Trek characters. Like they're just not,
okay.
like generic.
All right. So I start yelling at the Tellarite, "You're a cheater."
I'm not a cheater. Why do you say that?
I have no more money.
But I didn't take it. I think he took it.
I look at the Andorian.
Yeah.
So where's my money?
And the Andorian says, "Well, I don't know. I didn't take it. I think you're playing a game."
I haven't had Andorian in a long time.
Are you saying that you want to eat me?
Me? Well, of course. Hasn't everybody wanted to eat Andorian?
Oh, I've never thought of such a thing.
Hmm.
And he kind of like slowly kind of like steps away from the table. And then even though he didn't do anything, he kind of just slowly kind of hands over like these little kind of like disc things that are clearly like money, like more like poker chips, right? They're like more like
Right.
tokens. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And he kind of just hands that, and then he just, when you kind of when you kind of like glance down to see what he's doing, he hauls it out of the room. And that split second
that was easy. Wow.
Oh yeah.
I doubled my chips in no time. That's awesome. I take those chips. I take those chips and I put them down on a table. Nice and neat.
And you hear the teller right. Here you go. He goes, I have to try that. And then he turns and he looks at one of the other things and he goes, I haven't eaten lunch in a while. And that's what he says. He turns and says it to one of the other random aliens standing there.
Yeah, and they probably look at him and go, yeah, well, order something.
Right, pretty much. Yeah. They're not fazed by it. They've seen how this plays out now.
That's pretty good. I'm trying to blend in the best I can,
Absolutely. No, yeah. Okay. So you guys are there. We'll have left you in that setting for like 20-25 minutes, and we'll have the delicious course meal brought to Jahan at this table. And here comes Chef Zykris. He brings it. He says, Sir, your course. I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you very much. I hope that I enjoy it as well.
Very good. Is there anything further I can get for you?
Have you eaten lunch? Do you get a break today?
Well, I ate a little earlier, but I didn't really have a full lunch. I had like a in-between snack, but that's okay.
Just saying, perhaps you could join me just for a little bit while I eat this delectable looking meal, and perhaps I can gain some knowledge on you of the activities on the ship.
And he kind of glances around and he sees that everybody's kind of like sitting and eating and talking, and of the people that are in this room, and he doesn't see anybody at the counter. So he kind of like he has like a little apron on, and he undoes his apron and kind of like folds it up and takes it off, and he sits down across the table from you. And as he sits down, he says, I'd be okay with that. He says, well, let's just get it out of the way. I'm an Andorian. I can tell you're an Andorian, but I gotta know what is happening up here. He says, brother, that looks awful.
I'm a little surprised that you don't know of me. I've been in the news.
Yes. Yes.
I've been in the news.
I thought you looked familiar. Yeah. Jahan.
Yes. Formerly of the USS Drake. Yes.
So you're a Starfleet officer.
That's it's a long story. I feel that I used to be. Now, perhaps you've seen that I am a part of the new USS Drake, but between you and I, it's merely publicity purposes. They've hired
Mm.
a completely new person to take control of the engines. I'm just there for pleasantries, really.
Mm.
Hits a bit of a nerve, so I apologize.
No, I understand. I can understand that the Federation does makes kind of big sweeping decisions, so I understand.
Yes, of course. And then to get away from everything, I have to come on to a Federation pleasure cruise.
Yeah.
So you can imagine there's a bit of a bad taste in my mouth, which is a
Yeah.
big reason that I've come to you and eating this course. It's
Mm.
healing that taste.
Well, yeah, it's the one thing well, yeah. I just don't really care for some of the things I've been seeing, but what can you do? You can't change anything, right? I mean, the Federation is so powerful and so big. Like, what could you ever do to stop them from overtaking all these things and making these broad things? Yeah, right. Nothing.
Of course, I'm surprised they haven't dictated the menu.
Well, that's the one thing I control here on the ship. And listen, I'll tell you, as a fellow Andorian, he kind of like leans in a little bit. He says, "I don't serve Earth food here."
Ah,
So,
I could tell. I
yeah.
could tell. It's this is a improvement beyond anything that an Earth delicacy could be.
Yeah. So have you eaten it or no?
I'm eating it as we.
Okay. So basically, as you're eating it, it's practically a cheeseburger. It just is like you could just tell like it's probably like the same difference of like eating a different type of animal. Like instead of eating a cow, it's like you're eating bison. It's like it's still meat, but it's just slightly different tasting meat. And like the cheese is cheese tasting. It's not, so
Artificial-ish.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like Cinta Hall.
Yeah. Cheese hall.
Yes,
Well,
Josh, I'm glad to see an Andorian behind the wheel, so to speak, in the kitchen.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I heard that the Drake was at Starbase 2 here recently, right?
Yes, they're on some mundane mission to, try to occupy the galaxy as they do.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to use my shore leave a little early. Had to get out of there.
So you weren't there when I heard that terrible news about what happened, right? You weren't there when that happened?
Oh no. I took my leave or as soon as we docked, I got right over to Q here and took in some sights before getting on the cruise.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't. It's between you and I. I don't want this to get out, but I had to be off of that ship. I had to get out of there. The less
That's
time
okay.
away from there, the better.
That's fine. Yeah, I don't got to worry about me. I won't say nothing. Well, that's a terrible thing. What happened to Starbase 2, right? Terrible.
Yes, and also, it seems maybe the Federation had something to do with that. I don't think they can keep their P's and Q's separated or together.
Well, and he kind of leans back in his chair and he kind of looks at you.
And also, not to ignore your question of earlier, but this stuff here, Federation.
They did that to you?
In a roundabout way, they did. They did. Didn't warn me of the dangers I was getting into.
So he leans forward and he says to you, he says, I don't, everybody comes here to relax and have a good time, and have some fun. So I don't want to ruin, your relax, your fun, but I like to sometimes read some books and stuff in the study. So maybe sometime tonight, tomorrow, whenever, if you see me there, you come over, you sit with me. We'll catch up a little bit more. I don't want to mess with these people's nice, fine dining experience. Not everybody, understands what we understand.
Of course, if you're not in it, then you don't truly understand how they
Exactly.
operate. And I apologize for getting all worked up.
That's okay.
As I said, it hits a nerve. But you're right. We are here to relax, and the study sounds like a great time. So I think I'll have to take you up on that offer sometime.
Excellent. Well, I'll let you back to your course, and perhaps I'll see you later.
Of course.
And he kind of like smirks, and as he ties his apron back on and walks back over to the counter, and then he moves some like plates and some things around, and then he goes into the kitchen.
I see him go into the kitchen, and I quickly spit out what I'd been chewing on. Hold it into a napkin.
Wow.
It was not delicious. Okay, so from there, where would you like? Do you want to go somewhere else, or just kind of want to just hang in the dining hall?
Probably just not obviously, but just slowly go and take care of my stuff, and then maybe leave and start going toward the gaming area.
Okay. All right. So as you finish up your meal, and like you said, like you pace it out, you're not like immediately after talking to him like shove your food off the plate and run out of the room. We'll cut back to our hat in Lozesh. Do you guys want to stay in the game room, or do you guys want to move about?
All right, am I able to take my drink out of the game room?
Yep.
It's a cruise ship. You do whatever you want.
Some places have rules about that.
It's true, but no, they're fine with it because it's all public area, so you're not going to the restricted.
Is there a lounge in the back?
The closest to a lounge that they have is the study, and they have like it's kind of like when you have like a big family gathering, like a big party thing. There's with the dance floor area, it's like dance floor, and then they have like this basically like private dancing, but not like it's more like it's like a lounge in that sense, where like people can go and you can have like a party and then use the dance floor for the people who have like made this party. You know what I mean?
Do you remember the place there in Oriskany? Goodness sakes. Trinkus Manor. They had the dance floor, and all around the dance floor they had like round tables to sit at and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's
they have
like
tables. Yeah, they have tables and seats around the dance floor, but there is like a more secluded, like private, like eating areas that's like adjoined to the dance floor, kind of like you would have at like a fancy restaurant. when you say like, oh, 20 or 30 people are coming to eat dinner with me tonight, they have like a space for people. Okay, so you wanted to leave with your drink. I think Lozesh is probably going to move to, right?
Yeah, I'll go too. And do you want to go there, or do you want to go to the study?
I don't want to go to the study yet.
Okay.
I would probably wander around checking out all the different places and just see what places are wide open and what places are more secluded, where if we need to talk, we have a safe place to be able to talk.
Gotcha. So you want to go from like room to room and kind of like do that cool tourist thing where you're like, I've never been on here. Let me look at all the cool places. But really what you're doing is saying,
I would do that, but I would be thinking tactically.
Exactly.
About
so what? Yeah.
If I need to get something, where's the best place to find it? If I need to talk to someone, where's the best place to meet?
So the things that you see from going room to room is that the sauna, the game room, obviously, the like massage parlor, and like the security office and the first aid thing are all like, they're tight. There's not a lot of like, it's made for like, it's very functional, right? It's, you go in, you do this is these rooms. There's not a lot of like open space in there to just kind of like meander. But the dance floor and the study and the dining hall have a lot of like open areas where there's tables, there's places where, you know, it basically can, at all these, like the dining hall and in the dance floor, you can have all like 30 something people in here having a meal at the same time. But if everybody else, you know, you only have so many people. So if 20 of them are doing something else, then you have a lot of open space in any of these rooms where people may or may not be.
Are we noticing that there's not a lot of people on this voyage with us?
It's like, you can tell that it's not like empty, but you can tell that it's not to full capacity. It's you're probably making head counts as you walk by and you see new faces that, you know, of the 29 open spaces that you have, like of the potential guests, there's probably only like maybe 18 to 21. There's somewhere in there, that amount of people you kind of can estimate.
Yeah.
So any of those, after doing your rounds, or is there any of those spaces that you like?
Do I see any of the crew members, like the engineer, the first officer, or the captain at all when I'm making my rounds?
You don't see the engineer. You see the chef in the dining hall. You see the entertainer lady in the dance floor. You see the two security guys periodically going from the security thing back to the front. And you see you don't see the captain, you see the first mate. Occasionally he's like walking the hall and he says like, you know, he says like the people passing, because you can tell he's like walking with a purpose, and he's just saying hello to people as he's walking past.
Okay.
He doesn't acknowledge that he's the first mate or anything like that, but you know from the briefing that that's who he is.
Right.
Also, he has some, all the crew people they all have like kind of like, basically kind of like Disney. They all have like nice, very like festive, happy outfits on, but then the people who are the crew have these like kind of like these sash kind of braid things, like I forget what they're called, maybe like a pauldron is what they're saying, but it's like flat to the shoulder to kind of indicate that they're on like crew. So when the person came up and gave you your drink, that's what they had on them. So
but does his have stripes on his?
He has like a little star symbol on it. Yeah.
Okay.
So Is Lozesh with the commander also? Are they
think
like
he was-
walking around together?
Yeah, we
I
were
think-
walking together, I think, right?
All right, so
Yeah.
I feel like I would run into them as they're
Okay,
me
yeah.
making my way from the dining hall into the thing there.
That would make sense, yeah, because you guys are just wandering.
Yeah.
He might even see you in the dining hall, like finishing up your meal, because he's starting to like wander.
Meander. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see the first mate.
Okay. Yep.
I grab a hold of him by his coat collars,
Oh, okay.
his jacket collars, and I go, why do I not smell humans here?
Okay. That's what he says. You say to him.
Yes.
That's what you want to
That's
do.
what I say to him.
Okay. Do you? So you want to if you're gonna grab him, I gotta like have you roll for grabbing.
Okay. 1, 2.
It's 2 d20s, and it is. It's security and daring, so it's security plus daring.
How come I don't have security?
You should. I don't know. I thought you had it.
I have recon. I have.
You should have
presence, fitness, daring.
Other section.
Other
Yeah, so
section. Oh, security. Okay, there it goes. Okay, got it.
Yeah, security plus your security number plus your daring number, and then you're rolling 2 d20s and hope your roll is equal or less than those two numbers added together.
Okay, I rolled 2 1s.
Oh, okay. So you grab him real good by what you like, by his collar, right?
Yeah.
Okay, are you like lifting him off the ground or just like grabbing him close?
Well, I could, since I rolled 2 1s.
You
right?
absolutely can. Yeah.
So yeah. and I shake him, and I go, why do I not smell humans?
So he immediately goes like, whoa, like that, and he says, you catch him very off guard, and he says, I don't know. People come and go. I don't know why people don't come on the ship. I don't know.
And I say, lie.
Okay. That's okay. Let's have you to detect whether or not he's lying.
Okay.
Command plus insight.
Command.
Or maybe it's let me double check here. It might be a different thing. Let me look at.
Well, it doesn't matter what you tell me. I'm at the max with my insight, so
Okay.
kinda.
Yeah, I think it's. Let's go. Let's do security insight. I think that's what we're going to do.
Okay.
That's right.
So I got a 6 and a 3.
Okay, so he's you can tell he's like frazzled. You've caught him off guard. He is not thinking clearly. But you can also tell that when he says, he doesn't know you tell that he's like covering. He knows something basically, and that what he's saying isn't like full truth. He's not necessarily like fully lying. You could just tell he's like omitting something.
Yeah. So when I tell him that he's lying, I hiss in his ear to make it that much more intimidating.
And he says, why do you care if there's humans on the ship?
And I tell him I don't want Starfleet here.
Oh. Well, that shouldn't be a problem. I don't think that any Starfleet officers come aboard.
I walk over and I say, "You can put him down." I turn to the first officer and say, "My friend here likes eating humans."
Oh.
And I smile and say, especially Starfleet humans.
Well, I'm glad you came. Sad to say you're on the wrong ship if you enjoy eating Starfleet humans, but good to know I'm among friends, he says. And then he gestures lightly to your like clawed hand on him and says, and kind of gestures like perhaps put me back down on the ground, like kind of thing.
I abruptly
like release.
Let go.
He stumbles to his feet. He stays. And he kind of like adjusts his thing and he says,
and I try to help you the best I can.
And he says, well, I'm glad to say that you found the right luxury liner here in space here. What you guys are just here to relax? I mean, what's going on?
Personally, I was hoping to possibly see my wife. Stationed out here. She joined Starfleet a number of years ago, and I haven't seen her since.
I've heard that before. I've definitely heard that before.
I used to be part of the Imperial Guard. It was a great honor. And then Starfleet came along and took that honor away from me.
Okay, yeah. Well, you're not alone in feeling like that. There are a lot of people out here the Federation has gotten their hands in, but maybe here in the corridor isn't really ideal space for like-minded friends here talking out loud like this. You don't want to ruin other people's relaxation and their time aboard. Some people get a little nervous at this type of talk.
Yeah. I look at you and I said, I was captured by Starfleet. I was just let go. To be honest, not without some of them seeing how angry I got.
And he kind of pulls at his collar again. He goes, I can believe that. I can believe that. He says, well, gentlemen, I'll let you continue on your way. But perhaps maybe along the line we can either see each other maybe in some other area, as the night continues. There's dance floor. There's a lot of good activity and the dining hall.
Any place you recommend more so than others?
Well, the dance floor is really big, and they have really good music there. And it's really nice to listen to that music. So that's always a good spot, I find, to relax with good company.
I'll consider checking that out.
Very good.
Can you picture a Gorn dancing?
No.
What? I don't appreciate that laugh.
Well, he would move very slowly if it was the old one. So
That's what I was thinking. They have enough trouble walking.
they would do a great robot, is what that's what it would do.
I would. Yeah, I'm more into crumping right now. Oh dear. All right.
So you guys are there. Did you? I think Jahan wanted to
Catch up with us.
Yeah, I think so. You had that interaction in the corridor, and then you moved on to the dining hall. Let's say when he's finishing up his meal.
You mean ditching his meal?
Wow. Yeah.
Either that, or he's going to see his meal again.
Yeah. So, was there anything that you wanted to talk to them about, Jahan, or you just were?
Yeah. Well, we can have a scene or whatever if that's where they're ending up, in the dining hall, or I can be coming out of the dining hall as they've had their encounter, whichever.
Let's say it's kind of like right at the cusp of like where the dining hall like entry starts to the corridor is kind of like where you guys meet each other.
Do we feel that would be a safe place to have a conversation?
I would glean that you both, all three of you separately from your separate interactions, realize that you've been kind of told inadvertently like where good spots on the ship are to talk privately.
Yeah.
So you both have been told different areas, so it's kind of up to you guys where to decide where you want to go and talk.
All right, I'll come out of the dining hall. I run into those guys. Gentlemen, enjoying your cruise?
Thrilled.
Lozesh, are you behaving?
I had an interesting meet with one of the crew.
Ah, yeah, I heard some commotion out here.
He
Figured
smelled
you couldn't
good.
be too far behind. You are the life of the party as usual. Yes, the chef told me about some pretty good activities that I think that I'll engage in later on. Do you guys have destinations as well?
We were recommended to the dance floor.
Oh, I think you and Lozesh could really tear it up. I, on the other hand, will probably enjoy a nice quiet night in the study. Perhaps read up, get some knowledge, and I like to relax that way.
Honestly, I'd rather the study. I am not a dance floor person.
Same here.
I think it's great that the like more looser character is going to this like the more like mentally focused like area, and the two guys who are like very stern and very straight are like, we're gonna go to the party room. I think it plays perfectly,
right?
Yeah,
it would play out perfectly awkward, just like Star Trek normally is.
absolutely. Yeah, I love it. I love that just naturally kind of worked out that way. Okay, so it's gonna be.
I can't hear you, John.
That didn't talk.
Oh. For some reason, I thought you were talking. And
so what I am going to do, that's going to take a while before, time has had to kind of mill, and as they kind of all indicated, like it wasn't going to be immediate, right? You kind of got the feeling that perhaps at some point during the day they would kind of come around. So while that time is happening and you guys are just basically just trying to like abide time, but later in the evening at night you're going to go to those places. We're going to cut back to the other three people who have been trying to hang on while they listen to the other three people talk, and we're going to have them now be involved before we wrap up this episode, as Captain Naboa docks at the station, and he's being escorted to the security office. And so you guys are kind of milling about. I know House is he, would he be finishing up stuff on the Starbase to get his stuff from the Starbase to the Drake, or is he already on the Drake, like getting his med bay ready?
After the commotion of the space station, I think his shift would be just ending. So he's probably packing up and getting stuff ready to go too. Because I haven't been on the Drake yet at all.
Okay. Okay. So that's where he is.
Didn't last week? Didn't we have a meeting in the?
Yeah, you were on the bridge technically when you had your conference meeting, but I know what you mean.
I feel like that was a situation. Like that was a.
Like you pretty much came from like the docking.
I think I told him to get
and like. Yeah.
Adri told everybody to get back on board.
Yeah, but it makes sense that you would go back and still collect things because you were ordered to come. Yeah.
So I went on board just for that debriefing and figure out what we were doing for the station, and now I'd be like packing up my stuff.
Yeah, it makes sense. So, Sova, you were left in your quarters. Do you want to go somewhere? Like, or would you like, what would he want to be doing here? Like he knows that Noboa has docked and has been escorted to the security area.
No, because he's not really involved with that, is he?
No. I'm just saying, like, it's not information that he wouldn't know. He would know. But yeah, he's not. He wouldn't be called there. But I didn't want you to think that he wouldn't know. That's all.
Oh yeah, unless there was a reason for him to go, he wouldn't.
Okay.
You just continue what he was doing.
Okay. So you just kind of stay in your quarters.
Yep. I'll be meditating then.
Okay.
So,
Cat, what'd you say, Adrian?
I'm meditating.
Oh.
The Milky Way.
I'm
Perhaps he's missing his ropes.
There we go. I was looking through. I was like, well, I know I had an extra. Where is it? I'm trying to figure out.
I want it to be like an IOU, like pad is like on his bed.
That's hilarious.
And then next week he goes in there and his robe is back in there, but it's all torn up. So like
stretched out.
So the thing that makes me laugh is that, and it's fine. This is totally fine. The thing would have to happen is Jahan would have had to have used like security bypass to open your private quarters doors to go in and then take your article of clothing and then leave this note like, sorry, whatever, and then leave you the note and then go.
If anybody aboard knows like secret ways to get around the ship, it's John too.
That's yeah, it totally makes it's. I mean, he's a chief engineer. He knows how to open up panels and quickly like push things together and make the door open. It's not too difficult.
Just
so yeah, there's
dirty laundry.
So there's Sova as he returns to his quarters to meditate. He opens and there are obviously other pieces of clothing in there, but as the Vulcan would know, he immediately notices that one of his more finer, nicer, like longer Vulcan robes, which they have like big, bulky ones that they have is not there anymore.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
So, it will make it even better. Originally, it wasn't red. Jahan dyed it.
They are white. The big ones are usually white. So yeah.
You took the white one, you dyed it.
He had to dye it, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm dying.
And it's all in a note. It's all in a note. He's explained everything to you. Yeah.
No time to explain.
Not my white one.
So foolish. I love it.
I had a black one
That's
and I had a white one. That's all I needed.
Yep, exactly.
Now you have a black one and now you have a red one.
So the captain, we're going to have you at the security office because he's going to talk to you about what he has discovered.
Okay.
So you're in Coben's security office. You know that Naboa is in the Starbase brig, and he's being more or less interrogated at the moment.
Torture. Oh, interrogated. Gotcha.
No, not tortured.
I know.
So Coben is there, and he tells you, he says, Captain, he goes, I just wanted to talk to you about this. I've talked to your commander before he left, but now that he's on his away mission, you would be the next person I would advise. So he says that I've gone over the security footage that you discussed with earlier, and I've noticed that the hallway footage shows nothing but the detonation. It goes from normal activity, nothing, empty corridor, to explosion.
Okay.
The one thing I was able to rule out was transportation. I thought perhaps somebody last minute or secretly transported the bomb onto the station, but there's security settings to alert us if somebody does an unauthorized transportation. And the thing that is comforting to me is that that notification didn't happen, and only myself, the Admiral, and Dr. Treasel have access to those settings. And those settings are personal codes. They're not issued from Starfleet. So the only way to know how to bypass that would be to literally, if somebody was foolish enough to write it down, that's the only way to know what the code is. You can't override it, because if you do, there's other systems to set it off that somebody's messing with it. It's Starfleet makes it that way so that we don't have situations like this happen. So that leaves literally somebody physically planting it, but there's nothing there. When I go on all the decks, there's nothing there. So that made me start to think about the maintenance shafts underneath the decks. And in those maintenance shafts, those codes can be forced. So over the last couple hours, I've been reviewing the footage of all entry points to maintenance shafts. Okay.
Okay.
So, what I have discovered is that on deck 4, and he brings it up on the screen, this individual is the person I think it is, and it's a shot of like a long corridor. It's a ways down, and on the other end of the corridor is the turbo lift, and then there's like doors leading. There's like hallways and like doors on the sides, like leading back to the camera. And he says, "This is the perfect deck and the perfect area to do this. There is only this camera leading down this corridor. There are no closer up cameras, because this part of deck 4 is just the equipment area. It's excess storage for EVA suits, diagnostic tools, components for when replacements are needed. There's no reason to have higher security on any of this stuff. So sadly, this image that we have is the only shot of this corridor. So this person, they know where to go. They know what to do. So he shows you down the hall. This person exits the turbo lift, and then he shows the timestamp, and he brings up a name, and it says Lieutenant Janal, and it says like the code for his thing. He goes, you can see with the timestamp of the person getting off the turbo lift and the time that this code was used by Lieutenant Janal, these things matched. And Lieutenant Janal is my second in command. He's the chief engineer underneath me. He's a Vulcan. He's a Vulcan, and he can only, like, it's kind of like that pinch thing on your phone. He can only zoom on the camera like so much. And he goes, you can see here, and you see that the person that's walking down, like coming down the corridor, not far down the corridor, is blue skinned. He says, so that's not Lieutenant Janal. That's some other person. So I've gone back to the turbo lift to see where they came, when they entered the turbo lift, right? That's the next logical thing to do. But there is no entry into that turbo lift. That person just comes out of that turbo lift. And the only way into the turbo lifts outside of the regular entrance is other maintenance shafts, but nobody goes into any of those. So the only way I can think of somebody getting into is to come from a docked ship. Using another ship's docking port to essentially work their way through the Starbase is the only way to gain access to the maintenance shafts without the Starbase seeing. And it's hard to know what ship and like what to scour. I don't have control of everybody's other ships, securities, and things of that nature.
I don't know. I don't know what that means either. So it wasn't not your guy, but it's probably an Endorian.
Well, here's the thing. I went and looked up basically, I had to do a little bit of uncomfortable work and look at all of the blue-skinned people who have access to the station frequently.
Okay.
And there are 7 people aboard the station. I don't, with your crew, I can't, you'd have to go through your individual people, but I can only tell you who's on the station. So he goes through the list of 5 Andorians, a Bolian, and an unknown species.
Okay. All right. Well, what's the next? What do we do from here? You want me to question my crew?
It would probably be best for you to overlook your essentially blue-skinned people, which is kind of offensive, but basically look at that and see where they are, where they accounted for.
I mean, isn't there logs wouldn't you have logs of that?
Of them getting off the ship?
Yeah. I mean,
I have access to the Drake, but I don't have access to security cameras. I don't have access to like look on the security on your vessel. I can see people who exit your vessel, and I can follow them, and none of the people who have blue skin do anything suspicious. But again, it's a thing where I can't necessarily follow every step that every person takes once they get back on the Drake, if they're coming from the Drake in the first place.
So I mean, if one of my people is who did it, they're not going to tell me. So what's the point? And there's got to be a different way we can find out where they were.
Yeah, I understand. I'm not talking about trying to get somebody to reveal what they did or did not do. It's more of the fact of trying to make accounting for those on your ship and following their steps leading to the detonation, like using security footage to follow them.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll check with my my security officer is away right now, but I'll check with the second in command, and we'll see what we can come up with.
Very good. That sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So you go off to work with Sondon and basically spending another, it's going to take hours to scour, to literally like pick an individual like Jahan, like Arhat, like the Tilly, who's like your second, and other Andorians on your ship and follow them.
Okay. Okay, yeah, well, I'll just tell him to work on that while we're waiting for the away team to come back. She definitely doesn't think it's any of her crew. She's annoyed that that was even even.
He's just trying to weed out anybody, right? Because now that it is Federation tech, like everybody's on the table.
Yeah.
Everyone's a suspect.
What alien is green? I forget.
Or Orions are green.
Orions are green.
Yeah, the two guys at the front when you came in are green.
Yeah, they're the. Do they have antenna?
No, they're no. Mm-mm. No, the only blue people that you've seen are Andorians and Bolians.
Oh, Bolians, that's right.
Which is what the first mate and the captain are. So the first mate that you interacted with, he was a Bolian.
But you said that the one had blotches, right?
Yeah, the first mate has like, he had like a thing around his mouth and around his eyes.
Any around his head?
Mm-mm.
Where the antenna used to be?
No.
Oh, that's funny. So I'm just gonna recommend this to my security officer that I want to just basically like try to compare statures of
Over all
like,
your bases.
yeah, so like instead of like to try to narrow the field down, like if the guy on the security camera is like, you know, short and thin and one of our guys is
okay,
taller and broader, then like it's not him, you know, you don't have to spend.
Okay, great. So let me then have you roll for that.
Okay, I mean, I know it's a small video, but
No.
So the security officers would keep track of who gets on and gets off, so they would have records of if anybody got off. These are the people. It would eliminate everybody who didn't get off the ship, and you just have to look at the list of people who did get off the ship.
Okay, so it's
that's what I was
command and
wondering.
control.
Was like, wouldn't the communicators like track, like, you know how in like next gen they're like computer locate blah blah blah, and
when it's
like
open.
pulls up.
When it's open.
Yeah. When it's open, and
there's like a live feed.
Not all people who get off the ship have communicators to back of.
Yeah. Because with it being enterprise, it's mostly like wall comms and stuff like that, and like overhead stuff. They don't really have. I mean, people can, but they don't really. Going from the ship to the starbase, they're not really carrying communicators frequently. A lot of them,
but I mean, they're still on duty.
Some, but a lot of them, when they're off duty, they're not even in uniform. They go off and they're like relaxing. Because this isn't like, this is you guys are here for a bit, so like there's a lot of downtime.
Okay, I was just thinking there's got to be a way to like to know things better than just
I would run a tight shift, and I would have all of my security officers keeping track of who's getting on, who's getting off.
Yeah, well,
you would just to hide, Mike, because you're blue.
Yep.
So the real reality is, all of that is true. Like, obviously, you guys would be like, well, why isn't this? But you didn't think the starbase was going to erupt. Like, nobody did. So
of
it
course.
was like everything was more lax. It was just like, we're just going to a Federation owned starbase. We're
Yeah.
unloading things, and then we're here to do what the Admiral and what the station needs. So once, and it was after hours. Like, remember, everything was afterwards.
Yeah.
Nobody was on duty. So so I think that it's hard. I totally understand where you're coming from. Like, why don't we just know better? But it's a
Yeah.
thing where
Okay. No, that's fine.
it's not as easy. Yeah, it's just not as easy. Plus, being like where we're set in Star Trek, it's also a little harder to like pinpoint people a little more frequently.
I just want to be in like next gen time frame.
Yeah, so you could just follow comms and have. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you're gonna roll command control
Okay.
to tell Sondon what you want. Like, look at the dude and tell me if he's a dude.
Figure out who even got off first.
Right.
Okay. What am I doing? Command control.
Yep.
Ooh. 15.
Okay.
Two of them.
Mm-hmm. Difficulty 1. It's not. I mean,
Oh, wait,
you just.
let me, okay.
It's nothing really crazy. You're just telling him information. It's just complicated. It's like complicated, precise information.
Sure. Okay. I got a 1 and a 13, so I got 2 successes.
Okay. Do you have anything a focus in like leadership or like helping others or something like that?
I have talent advisor.
Hmm.
Well, the 1 is an automatic double success, isn't it?
Yeah, I was just trying to see if she gets more
Advisor.
advice.
Yes, I have advisor for a talent, and then under focuses, I have composure. Or
Yeah, so advisor just lets you re-roll.
okay.
So I think you're okay.
Starfleet protocol, starship ops. Those are probably the only ones that would.
Okay.
Or persuasion, but it's
Yeah, you know what? Protocol. That'll be fine. Okay. So you tell him that, and he's gonna scour. He's gonna use that information, and he can immediately tell you that from what he can see on there is that the person doesn't have hair. So
Okay.
it eliminates a lot of
our guys.
blue-skinned people who have hair.
Okay.
So he can't get close enough to see if they don't have antenna,
Sure.
but it's going to limit it down to just like 2 or 3 people.
Yeah, so that automatically excludes the commander and the lieutenant commander.
Correct. Yeah.
Who else is? We have a lot of blue skinned people in our group.
You have a handful.
It's disgusting.
What about Milak?
No, Milak is
No, he's not.
Do list.
That's why he blew up the station. That's why he was drunk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, okay. So all right, so work with that information and see what we can find.
Okay, I will.
But I just have him working on it alone because I don't want wind of this going around. I don't want my crew to think I don't trust him.
Anybody to catch a hold of your witch hunt.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he'll go into like that. There's like a room behind the conference thing on the bridge where they do like private research and stuff. So that's where he'll be.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So we will suspend it there. So next time we come back, we will play out the rest of the stuff on the ship for them. We'll probably be able to conclude that, and then we'll deal with the concluding part of the Starbase.
Is Captain Naboa on? He's where? Not on my ship. He's on the space station.
He's on the Starbase. He's in holding right now.
Will.
So I sadly have to leave you on this cliffhanger of it's now going to be 3 weeks until we come back. This is the extended part.
What? Really? We're not going to do
Yeah.
it next week?
No, because the 12th would have been the next time we get together, and that's Super Bowl. So
Right. And I thought, well, we do it again this week and then double up.
oh no. So the 19th, and the 26th, we're back to back.
Will
Okay.
hates us. So
Okay, so here we go. Will
Mhm.
is the blue guy that we're looking for.
Exactly.
Well, I was relieved because Adri thought that it was gonna be Jahan, but it was gonna be some weird like alien take over his body thing, and I was gonna have to defend him to the death.
The death.
So I'm relieved. But that's
Like
Really?
Jahan sleepwalking, and
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the idea of the admiral coming in saying, "I have a discussion," and you just pull out a blade. And you're like,
Yeah. Also, you like how my character is constantly mouthy with all the admirals.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
can see it. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying you're really leaning into your you talked down to superiors earlier in your career and you're keeping it up.
Yeah. Exactly.
I can see it now. The video fades in and out and everything, and it's Lozesh with blue, painted blue with
oh
the antennae.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
I was thinking too, it'd be funny is what's happened is Jahan has broken into multiple people's quarters and taken parts from each person's quarters to assemble a bomb while sleepwalking, and
Yeah.
entered it, and then conveniently went and
Yeah.
had
That's
cheeseburger.
how I ended up with the robes.
Yeah. That's yeah. I was gonna say he's stealing all these the shirts and
Right.
the robe, right? While he's at it.
Yeah, it's all Melek's stuff. Melek had all the Hawaiian stuff. So
Yeah,
because
that's
he's
right. I forgot.
Melek is a Ryzian, so he has all the party stuff. So
And I can see it now when we get to the dance area. There's thing. Hey, we had a Vulcan here dressed in that shirt. Hmm.
very suspicious.
Yeah. He
Highly
used to dance a lot here, and we're like, oh, really?
Yeah.
But it was white last time we saw it. So
I think his name was Soda. Soda.
Soda.
Soda?
That's
Yeah.
Mr. Soda to you.
Soda.
Duh.
Yeah. Okay,
Oh,
well,
boy.
since
This has been awesome.
good. I'm glad it's been fun.
Yeah. Unlike now, what are we going to do for 3 weeks, guys?
I'm sorry.
Wow. Nothing. That's what, Will. Nothing.
You guys can all join without me and have your own session without
We should.
I'll
All right, how
steal
do
his
we-
We
notes.
actually should.
I'll steal his notes and
all the non-football people can all get together and
Well, that
Have
only
your own,
leaves one, right? Or two?
It'll just be me. I'm going to sabotage the whole thing. You're going to come back and everything's
Yeah.
going to be blown up.
because of my double thing, did we gain a momentum?
Oh,
you would have gained.
Well, weird.
So you got 2. So it was a 1. You rolled 3 successes, and then you had your thing. So you would have had 3 momentum to do what you wanted with.
Well, now
Awesome.
we're maxed.
okay. So that'll help. That'll help.
So what I'll do with that, thank you for saying that, Andrew. And this is where I'll leave the cliffhanger on. And everyone will be so excited to come back for the next thing. Is that Sandin, when he looks in and he sees not only are they have no hair, but there's no intent.
It's his brother.
It's his brother.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's my brother. So they also have no antenna.
Hmm,
I'll do that because of your excellent role.
thank you.
That's cool. So it's the barber from Picard's ship, from the
So-
Enterprise.
Maybe your homework is to go back and listen to all of the stuff that we've talked about. Who do we know that's blue and bald and not an Andorian?
It's an admiral, isn't it?
No,
No.
No.
he's on the Drake.
No,
Blue
he
and
isn't.
bald.
I don't remember.
Hmm.
Impossible.
Not me.
Should have made
I'm
it.
not blue.
You should have made him a giant chicken.
Giant.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's our
Yeah.
giant
And the
chicken.
only way that he can be defeated is if a Family Guy shows up.
Yeah. Peter.
Peter.
Oh, that's funny.
I
So
was gonna say the funny thing was gonna be is have the doors open and it's Dr. Ray. It's clearly Dr. Ray.
Yeah.
And she's really angry about
Mhm.
leaving the Drake.
that's awesome.
That's funny.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right, crew.
We'll see you guys.
We'll see you in the stretch.
See you.
Yeah.
We'll
Fortnight.
see you.
See you
3
never.
weeks.
Bye,
Hopefully I
guys.
find something better to do on Sundays and I
Yeah.
keep doing that.
Right? All of a sudden, Sunday. Oh, is it this week? I'm sorry. I got
Oh.
something right now.
Sorry, I have a Star Wars thing I do on Sundays now. Sorry. Sorry about
that's
that.
Oh,
Perfect.
so much shade.
Can't wait to
So-
hear all about it. I'll try to
All
get it.
right.
I'll try to play a guy on that. So let me
No,
know.
no, it's booked. It's already booked. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Nothing I can do.